Strategies, and this week we've been asked about the start of the EMPI or Wanshu kata, which has a distinctive yoi position. Now, first thing, is it really that different to the start of Jion, Jite, Jin or Basai Dai? Not so much as people would like to make out. It's simply the same thing that's been folded, but formally like this. Now, let's have a look at a couple of clues and cues so that we can start to understand the strategy behind giving you these kind of answers. The first one is to say that anything you bring back to your hip has got to contain something. And the usual thing is to say that it contains a wrist. If you look at the position of the wrist at the hip, you'll see that in front of my solar plexus is an elbow. When we grab the elbow, the hand doesn't look like a fist. When you pull back a wrist, it looks a bit like a fist that comes back to your hip. When you grab an elbow, it doesn't look like a fist, it looks like an open. Now, we were just saying that if the hikite is a pull to the hip, then what you find is that across my solar plexus will be the other person's elbow. And then we're going to link that in and take hold of it here. So if the elbow in front of my solar plexus is grabbed like this, then it stands to reason that an open hand codified in kata looks like it's got an elbow. When we talk about the start of EMPI kata, what you find is that there's an open hand here and a fist here. So if we know that a fist is a wrist and an elbow is an open hand, then I want to put the two close together. If you're going to put the two close together, you say, well, how do you do that without all that fiddling about? Let's take a look at the situation. We're having words, maybe the big hook gets thrown. I want to stop that. The hand slides to here and pulls down. This one comes into place and we're already there. Perhaps we're earlier than that. Perhaps there's a hand that's threatening or wagging a finger or whatever, and we're here going, I don't want to fight, leave me alone. And we seize this way instead. And this is all the yoi position for EMPI. The elbow seized and the wrist brought in. Go for that, whether we get it or not. It's the idea of pushing through to the final position that we really want. So from this position, if I've got this hand and I've put it at this angle, and from here I then drop down to the side and take this with me, then we're going to go face down, and we're going to come down to here, and then we're ready to strike, or locate the body, ready for use. If it happens to be the other arm, and we're into here, and we get to here and set, then the roll over the top is to drop this way, and we'll come down, strike, or locate the body, ready for use. Or we take the yoi and separate it from the first move and make it just that the big hook comes in, and we use any tactic that we already have to set them down, and then we go across and we'll do the first move here. There's all sorts of variations, there's all sorts of ways it could go, but essentially this position can start us off very, very well. If you ask for a simpler one, then maybe we just do something very, very easy. A big hook comes in, and we just bring that down and hit it. And therefore you've got a base, the open hand, and the strike towards that open hand. Where people have a problem with these kind of things is that you see the fist and the open hand are brought together in the kata, and when we do these applications they're still apart. And the reason they're apart is because we haven't followed through. We idealise and try to go to the full position, but of course we've got a human body in the way. When it's a training partner, you don't want to bring them together. And people seem to have an issue, but the point is, when we do this in kata, it's not hard to realise that this is the follow-through position. This is a base that the elbow is driven to, and people seem to understand that that can be up here, or it can be in here. The idealised position is here. So how is that any different to this being an idealised position? In the end, you have to agree that really it's not any different. It's exactly the same.